Alright, what's going on, y'all? It's Jesse from the John Yacht, and today we're going to be talking about how to do preventative maintenance and clean your Stradic Ci4 Plus by Shimano. So, why do you want to do this? So, number one, you're going to want to do this as a preventative. So, if you're operating this reel mostly in a saltwater environment, you're going to have corrosion to deal with. And most of the time, if you're in a saltwater environment, you're going to have sand, salt that's just going to naturally build up and accumulate on these reels. So doing preventative maintenance, when you start to feel your reel maybe getting a little bit stiffer when you're using it maybe over a long summer, or maybe you got a piece of sand inside your reel and you can start to hear it grind a little bit. So these are just a couple reasons why you may want to do some maintenance. And doing this preventative maintenance can get that reel back into condition. It was very close to how it was when you first bought it. So what do I use to clean my reels? So for this Stradic, I'll have a little scribe like this kind of on standby. If I see some sand or dirt or rock or whatever it might be lodged somewhere, I'll use that to fish it out. Secondly, I'll have a little flathead screwdriver. All over this reel and many spinning reels, you'll see flatheads. So if you need to take something apart to clean it and it's corroded to a point where you might need to break it free, have a little screwdriver handy for you. A little rag. I'm going to talk about excess oil through this video. It's important to wipe off excess oil. Think of it as a fly trap. That oil is going to catch no matter what type of debris you're in, so use a rag to wipe that excess oil. Oil. So for the oil I use for my reel, this is Dig In Reel Oil, something I've been using for a while. It honestly, a couple quick shots of this on the shaft, which I'm going to show y'all, will almost always bring this reel back to almost new condition just by simply using it just as a preventative. But we're going to use this today, Dig In Reel Oil. I'll put a link in the video description if y'all want to pick some of that up. Thirdly, a little rubber band, or a little piece of a rubber band, and I'll show you why we use that in a second. So let's start it. How do we clean this reel? So kind of an overview of what you want to think about is what's a moving part on this reel. If it's a moving part, we're going to lubricate it and clean it. So first, starting off, we're going to undo our drag system and lift this spool from the reel. All right. Underneath this spool, a lot of times you'll have a lot of sand, different kind of buildup, salt water, whatever might be inside here. So we're going to take our rag, wipe that clean. If you have any type of buildup in there, take your little scribe and fish that stuff out. You want to get all that out. All right, so get that dry. We're going to take our Dig In Reel Oil. Right on the inside of there, there's a spring that we're going to just put a little dab of oil on. All right, and again, let that do its thing. You can even actuate it with your finger from the inside. But once you've actuated that a few times, just hit that real quick with a rag to wipe that excess oil off. And for the spool, that's all we're going to be doing. Let me hook my line back up here. All right, so moving to the body. This is the important part. So your shaft that's going to be running up your reel. Let's actuate the lever until your shaft's all the way at the top. All right, that thing just went off on me. All right, all the way at the top. Now your shaft's exposed all the way at the top. So take your rag. Sometimes you'll have some debris in there again, sitting in that excess oil. So at the top you have some threads. Let's clean those threads off. And down at the bottom, let's make sure that bottom shaft that goes into the reel is completely clean. All right. So once that's clean, we'll hit these threads with a quick spot of oil. Let gravity do its thing, and then here on the top, we'll hit this at the base of the shaft and let that work its way down into the reel. Now we're going to use our lever, work the shaft a few times. Right here, at this very step, you should instantly feel your reel get smoother. All right, that's what I love about this reel oil. So work that a few times, and whatever is excess is going to kind of pile up around the base. Just very gently wipe that away from the base. Try not to get it off of the shaft, and then we'll move on to the next point. So from there we have our bail, right? The bail's one of the most moving parts on the reel. So what I like to do is open it up and then take my reel oil right here at the top. If this thing is really corroded and giving you some hard time opening, it might be beneficial for you to take these two off on each side and clean salt out from underneath that. But my reel's not at that phase, so we're not going to do that. If you do this here once a month, you won't have to worry about that. So right at the base, at the top of this reel, I'm going to put a couple drops and let that gravity do its thing, and then work it into the reel. All right, into the bail. And I like to flip it over, close it, and do the same thing so that it gets it in from the bottom side too. All right. Putting it right here and right here. All right, then again, I'm going to work the bail. Once I know that it's in there, I can feel the difference. I'm going to wipe that excess. Make sure I'm not creating a fly trap for dirt. All right, now that you got that going, you can almost already feel your reel getting easier. Take your handle off. You got several different thread series here. On one side, you have your handle that you don't use. Here's another tool you might need. If your cap, see how it's seized up? I just take a quick pair of pliers to loosen that side for me. Then I'm going to put some oil right along those threads. So on the inside of here, on both sides, you'll see some buildup of oil, possibly some dirt. This one's pretty clean. But I'm going to wipe that, and then on each side, I'm going to put one drop of oil. All right, let gravity do its thing. And again, on the other side. All right, first there, once I got that in there, that cap that I just had to use the pliers to take off, I'm going to put a quick drop of oil on there. And then re-put that back on the side that I don't use it, that I don't use the handle. All right. Now for my handle, we have a few moving parts on here. Your lever that's going to go up and down here that screws in. Let's put a quick drop there. Actually, here I got a little bit of dirt buildup. Wipe that off. Hit that with some reel oil. Work that in. Then I got some threads here as well that's going to screw into my reel. So I'm going to hit that with some oil. Alright. Hit that excess going off. And then lastly, one thing that's commonly forgot about this reel, if you're using it a lot, you'll see some tension here even on the finger grip. So take on the back side, right? That's where the bearing's sitting in. Hit that with some oil. Let that sit in there. Work its way in there. And then I like to put a dab between the metal and the rubber too. So I'll hit that there real quick. Let that spin in there. Alright. Now, as far as your reel being preventative, having your preventative maintenance done, you're done. You can go ahead and throw it back together. Throw your spool back on. Throw your drag system back on. And then lastly, to prevent one last look over, you're going to go through with your rag, hit it again for that excess oil. Anything that's been kind of residually dripped down, you'll be able to get that now from your with your rag. So get any of that residual off, and you're good to go. You should instantly feel a cleaner reel just from those simple steps. And if you're going to do this, maybe, I'm not saying you have to do it every trip, but if you do this once every third or fifth trip, particularly in saltwater conditions, these reels will last 10 times longer than doing it once a year. But again, yep, I'm Jesse from the John Yacht. Again, the Dig In Reel Oil, I'll throw a link in the description. Grab a bottle. highly recommended for me. I use it pretty much religiously. So from here, yeah, if you have any other reels that you'd like to see, comment in the videos and we'll move on from there. Appreciate y'all for watching.